Hello and welcome to Melbourne 22, where the games are made up and the points don't matter.
Wrong show, Aaron.
It's worth a shot, Kate. Tonight on Melbourne 22, we commend the efforts of the gentlemen and gentlewomen who participated in this year's Movember.
We get out our best flat sole shoes and go lawn bowling.
And the Quarters join us live in the studio with their latest single.
All that and all this on Melbourne 22 tonight.
Well, we are right into the business end of the season now, aren't we, Kate? Season 3. Yeah. See, you're back.
Yes, I am.
Survived probation. Must be
Yes,
a Kate thing.
It is a Kate thing. How long have you been on probation now for, Aaron?
I have a full-time probation and get strict talkings to every week. It's obvious that you're in it for the money, Kate. I mean, everybody can see it. And you know what they say? Mo money, mo problems.
Aaron, I didn't say anything about them.
Kate, it's funny that you should mention that. Speaking of Mo's, we went to the launch of Movember at Fed Square earlier this month. Let's see what happened.
Okay, so here we are today launching down at Federation Square. Beautiful sunny day here in Melbourne. Perfect moustache growing weather, I think. So the way that it works is Mo Bros and Mo Sisters, or Mo Bros in particular here, start the month clean shaven and then across those 30 days become a walking, talking, furry billboard for men's health and garner support from their friends and family to sponsor their Mo growing efforts. So Movember's all about changing the face of men's health, specifically prostate cancer, testicular cancer and mental health. Massive lineup here today, shave downs from Gillette, get everyone nice and clean shaven. This will be coming off from there. I've been working on it for a while and it's coming off, getting ready for a massive month.
Monty definitely has hands down had the best moustache in the band. It was so notorious that for this 3-month period that he had it developed like a name, and it kind of started to affect his personality a bit. So the mustache's name is Craig. Apart from that, I've grown a mustache before, but it's more like pencil, like a bit closer to the top lip. Yeah, it's a bit more of a European take.
I just encourage everyone out there to get to Movember.com, get behind a Mo Bro or a Mo Sister and help to change the face of men's health.
How cool is that?
There's a lot of people supporting a great cause
It's
there,
amazing.
And it's really good to see it's growing every single year.
I think I should grow one.
You've already got a little bit of
Yeah,
something going on.
I've got it happening.
Well, we're here to talk Movember with Chief Operations Officer of Movember, Jason Hinks. Welcome, Jason.
Nice to be here.
Tell us, how did Movember start?
So Movember started just a stone's throw away from the studio here in Fitzroy as a conversation between two blokes about things that had gone out of fashion and hadn't come back. And one of the things that they identified was those iconic 70s mustaches. So, you know, Dennis Lilly off the long run with the open shirt and the gold chains. And so a couple more beers, no doubt, and they decided they were going to make a bold proclamation to bring back the mustache. And that was really where the Movember concept was born.
I love that.
Now, this episode's going to air towards the end of the campaign. Now, you are currently 8 days in, and you've already got a pretty good patch going on there. We were saying in the break just before, it's very Breaking Bad-esque.
Yep.
What style are you actually going for this year?
Well, I'm glad that you pointed out that we're only in the 8th day of this, because this would be fairly ordinary towards the end of the month.
It's still to hit puberty, people. He's getting there.
It's a problem. But I think that every year I kind of have these aspirations to go for the connoisseur or the rock star or those more styled mustaches. But I end up with the same thing, which is similar to a toothbrush. So it's either when you look at the style guide, it's either the undercover brother or the boxcar is what I end up with. So regardless of intention, the same sad mustache every year.
And so I hear that this year you're branching out and you've started something called Mo Sisters.
Yeah, so the Mo Sisters have been around really since the beginning of the campaign.
Cool.
But you know, the Mo Sisters don't have a physical requirement for the campaign, so everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. There's no need for the Mo Sisters to grow a mustache. But they can get involved and they can register and they can fundraise and share their experiences. And really, one of the other important roles of the Mo Sister is really supporting the men of their life, not only just in getting involved in the campaign and growing the mustache and putting up with the mustache for 30 days, but also encouraging men to be more involved with their health. So, you know, quite often it's the women in our lives that get us to go along with the doctor or get us to kind of speak up when there's something not going so well. So the Mo Sisters play an important role both in terms of active fundraisers, donors, but also those influencers in our lives.
Speaking of putting up with the moustaches, maybe you could do some kind of dual sponsorship with Vaseline or a paw company or something to help with that shaving rash, the beard rash there that they get when the moustaches start to grow a little bit.
Yeah, there's like that's you know, iconic Australian term, the pash rash, which is fairly common during Movember.
Now, the growing of the moustaches for Movember is the fun part, but there's a more serious side. Now, what is the cause actually helping? What is the more serious side?
Yeah, so Movember obviously raises funds and awareness, and it's in a number of areas. So the first is prostate and testicular cancer research, and this is the first year that we've been supporting testicular cancer research, so a really important evolution of the campaign. The next is survivorship programs. So they are programs that are aimed at men who have been diagnosed with prostate and testicular cancer, help them through their post-diagnosis and beyond. So lots of programs to make sure that they're supported during that journey. And finally, men's mental health. So we know that mental health is a significant problem in Australia. So the funds raised go towards programs in the area of men's mental health, but also raising awareness to reduce the stigma around mental health in Australia.
It's such a great cause, Jason, so thank you so much for coming in. And remember, if you'd like to send in some last-minute donations, get online and visit movember.com.au.
Aaron, is there anything you'd want to randomly learn or anything you'd wish you'd learned earlier talking about Movember?
Weird. Oh, okay.
Say like knitting or a musical instrument.
Maybe I would like to learn the Portuguese language.
Right. Is that so? Is that to understand your girlfriend when she talks to you?
No, just because I get really technical with my orders at Nando's, to be honest.
Right. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Well, I see where you're going. And we went out and asked the public the same question, and here is the result.
Like to learn French.
Oddly enough, Latin.
I'm trying to study a little bit because my daughter's learning French.
It's only when I was very mature that I understood why Latin is so important.
Mandarin.
Definitely German.
Although I'm Chinese, I want to learn Mandarin.
I think it's very close to English and it's also very close to Latin.
Maybe Italian?
Spanish, I think.
Because I'm a big fan of opera.
Yeah, I don't know, it just seems cool.
Functionally, I guess I'd want to learn Mandarin, or what is now Chinese.
In my future, I'd love to continue learning more Spanish. And I think once you have one language, it makes it easier to pick up other languages.
For just being able to function in the new world. But I'd really like to learn Italian. I think it's interesting.
That's a good question, because I study Italian.
I think I'd like to learn Dutch, because it's a weird language that weird people speak.
I'd like to learn Klingon.
Coming up next, let's play the fun sport of lawn bowls.
Welcome back to Melbourne 22.
Don't forget, if you like what you see, visit us on one of our many forms of social media or our website. It's all very fancy, it's nice, it's unusual.
It's right at the bottom of the screen, just here. Thanks, Kate. Or you can even hashtag Melbourne 22, as seen also on one side of the screen here or there. It seems to be the trend these days, doesn't it?
All the cool TV shows do it, Aaron. Get with the times.
They do, yep. While you were mentioning cool right there, Kate, here at Melbourne 22, we're all about drawing attention to somewhat underestimated sports. I'm, of course, talking about lawn bowls. Have you ever played?
I've played a few times.
Had
I
a few
wouldn't say I'm the
roll-ups?
best. I have, yes.
Yeah? Shoes on or shoes off?
Off, of course, off.
That's how you know how serious you are. So the shoes off people, obviously just a bit of casual fun there and whatnot. Our lovely co-hosts Scott and Kate headed out to a few clubs to be shown a thing or two. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, it's Scott Reed.
And Kate Garrard.
And we're down here at the Port Melbourne Bowling Club.
That's lawn bowls, not to be mistaken with 10-pin bowling or anything like that, right?
Exactly.
Have you played?
I've played, but it was a very long time ago and it was only once. And I was quite drunk, I've got to say.
You better watch out. All right.
So if she beats me, that's the reason why.
Yes, let's check it out.
The rules are you have teams of 4, and the person whose turn it is to bowl first bowls the jack. If you're playing with men, or kitty if you're playing with ladies, it's exactly the same thing. Then you roll that down. Each time you play, you 4 people in the team. You each have 2 bowls each, and you take it in turns to bowl. And whoever gets the most bowls closest to that jack or kitty, you get that scored.
All right, we're here with Jim at Port Melbourne Bowls Club, and he's about to show us some tips on how to bowl properly. But first, Jim, how long have you been playing bowls?
About 5 years.
5 years. And how long do you practice? Like, how many times a week?
Well, we play pennant twice a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays.
What does that mean?
It means it's a competition.
Uh-huh. All right, shall you show us?
Let's
What's
get
the first
started.
thing we need to do?
The white ball, the jack.
Yeah, well, you want to roll the jack?
All right,
Go
let's
for
do
it, Scott.
Kate has got the shot, has got 2 shots, okay? Now if she bowls back again and she gets another 2 shots, that's 4 that you've got 0, all right?
Oh well,
Understand
congratulations.
Sorry, Scott.
We'll get you next time.
Okay, it's decided. I'm in. I can just see it now. Kate, lawn bowls extraordinaire.
Well, you're an easy convert. Don't get too ahead of yourself. You need to be able to play the game first. Right, well, while you're sitting there dreaming, I'm going to be a gracious host and introduce our studio guest, Paul Winslow from Lawn Bowls Victoria. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
And what's your involvement with Bowls Victoria?
I'm actually the Marketing, IT and Publications Manager, which is a very long, drawn-out job title. So I'll publish our magazine, look after our website, our social media, some of our corporate partnerships and a bit of marketing as well.
Now, iconically, lawn bowls has always been a sport that's viewed as something for the elderly. How do you these days encourage all of the up-and-coming young players to come through?
It's amazing, actually, that there's so many successful young players at the moment. The Australian Open singles champions at the moment are both Victorians, and they're about 20, 21 years old.
Wow.
And there's a lot of real amazing young kids coming through and winning a lot of tournaments at the moment. So it's kind of, you do have that demographic, obviously, and a lot of people, you know, in retirement play 7 days a week, pretty much. But there's a real sort of young dynamic to the game at the moment as well.
And so I hear that some of the Jackaroos are over in Hong Kong at the moment, competing. Do you know how that's going? Have you heard about their progress?
They haven't actually started yet. I've just had an email from them while I was waiting in the green room, actually. So Carla Rogers and Barry Lester, who are 2 of Victoria's finest, are out there. Barry won the singles and the pairs last year, so he's out there trying to defend his titles.
Barry Lester's actually a mutual friend of one of my other friends, actually, and so I've heard he's actually over there at the moment, and we wish those guys all the best over there as well. So, mate, if people want to get involved in the sport, is there somewhere they can go or somewhere they can look to get that information?
Absolutely. The best thing to do is go onto the Bowls Victoria website, which is bowlsvic.org.au. We've got a club finder function on there, so you can basically go in, type in your postcode and find out all the bowls clubs that are close to you. And then there's a link to their website, and you can find out when they've got social bowls on and basically contact the club and find out what they've got going for new bowlers.
Okay.
Just with my theme today
Right.
of changing up the rules, like, you know, for Movember, I'd like to change up the rules for some lawn bowls. I think that to be able to measure the distance between the little white one, what's the little white one called?
The jack.
Jack.
Yes, the jack, and the bigger ones. I think it's really good to use like body parts to measure. I like to measure, like, is it a finger? Is it a hand?
Is it a
leg?
Kate?
I
Yeah.
have had a long stretched out body stretch that I had to do once to try and prove that I was a bit closer.
Here's the thing about rules, Kate. Lawn bowls has been around for quite some time. Would you be able to enlighten us on how long lawn bowls has been around for? Like, as a rough guesstimate? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, there were references to it in Shakespeare as far back as then.
You're
And
kidding.
actually, in the UK, they played it sort of back in the sort of 1300s. There's very early references to it.
That is so
Melbourne
cool.
Bowls Club was the first one in Victoria. It was about 1860. So it's been around in Australia for quite some time, and like I say, going back into past Shakespeare.
All right, well, every reason to get involved. It's been around for ages. It's a fantastic sport and a lot of fun to just get out there and be social with your friends. So thank you so much for joining us here today. We've had an absolute ball having you in the studio, pardon the pun. Good luck to the guys in the tournament as well and for 2014.
Absolutely. Now, I hear you guys have been dishing out history lessons here on Melbourne 22.
Oh, look, it's all about learning and knowledge. I do love these history lessons, Kate. This week, it's on a relatively new Melbourne icon. No, it's not me. I wonder why it could be, I wonder what it could be, I wonder why we could be talking about this. I wonder a lot of things, but maybe we should just look into the distance and stroke our imaginary beards.
Situated in South Bank with ideal 360-degree views of the great, the wonderful city of Melbourne, is the Eureka Tower. It stands at 300 metres tall, aka 88 stories, aka 975 feet, and is the tallest residential tower in the Southern Hemisphere. Construction began in August 2002 and finished in June 2006, and it was open to the public, in October 2006. There are 3,680 steps, 52,000 square metres of windows, 13 elevators, and it weighs 200,000 tonnes. Not only is it the tallest residential tower in the Southern Hemisphere, but it also has the fastest lifts, travelling at 9 metres per second, way faster than this boat. The blue of the tower represents the diggers during the Eureka Stockade, and for those playing at home, it's also where the tower got its name. The red stripe represents the bloodshed, and the top 10 floor windows that are plated with 24 karat gold, aka the Golden Crown, represents the goldfields. Well, that's about it, kids. Stay tuned for some more history of Melbourne. Coming up next, we spend 60 seconds with a psychologist, and we have the Quarters performing in the studio.
Oh, hello there. Welcome back to Melbourne 22. Scott Reed getting a little bit sassy there, calling the public plebs.
I did notice that. Have you ever been to the tower yourself?
I have. However, I have a little bit of an issue with heights. I wouldn't say I'm scared of heights, but I did fall out of a treehouse when I was younger.
And how does that make you feel, Aaron?
Well, a little bit insecure and self-conscious when I'm around. What is this, Kat? What is this? Are we playing Dr. Phil here? I bet he does, Movember. The moustache on that man.
I'm just trying to tune into my inner psychiatrist, Aaron.
Well, why tune it in when we've pretty much spent the entire day with one ourselves?
I've been a psychologist since 1994, so it's nearly 20 years. I feel like it's a very privileged position. I get the opportunity to be quite close to people, you know, to sort of be a part of their lives for a short time when they're usually struggling with something. The name of the main method I use is called acceptance and commitment therapy. And the commitment part refers to taking action to accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. The acceptance part is primarily about mindfulness practices, especially ones for helping people to pay attention to their thoughts and feelings without getting tangled up in them.
Hasn't he just got one of those faces you could really open up to?
Thanks, Kate. A lot of people do say that, yes.
I wasn't talking about you, Aaron.
Right. It is good, nice to see people helping other people, yes.
Well, Aaron, we're nearly at the end of our show tonight. I know, sad face.
Well, it is always sad, Kate, I know. But, you know, cheer up, because, hey, guess what? Guess what? We've got another episode next week. You won't be here, unfortunately, I don't think. So, but anyway, I can look forward to it, so good for me.
Well, it's exciting stuff, I guess.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And to take us out tonight are the Quarters with their latest single, Mr. Harry Piggins. I'm Kate.
And Kate, it's been awesome having you here, and I'm Aaron McCarthy. Good night, Melbourne.
To the sound of my tune, the cash on the table is still a spoon. Came out to the party just to turn the beat around. Not about your neighbor, you love to wear the crown. Oh, naivety was wrong, left you in your place, best belong. Oh, though I love to wear the truth, I got my feet up on your table. Honest you. What do you know? Never lied to something you said before. Hey, now. What do you say? Little something, something my way. I know that you're talking about. You have a girlfriend. Mr. Larry Piggins, you're all so wrong. Left you in your place where you best belong. I don't see you coming round, and I can't see the van. Just one more drink for you, you're round, sucker. Something you said before. Hey, what do you say? Little something, something my way. I know that you're talking about. You, your empire girlfriend. You're talking about. You, I'm past